All right, traders, welcome to today's webinar presentation. My name is Sean Kozak, and on behalf of Tickblaze and my team, we would like to welcome you to today's webinar presentation. This is a marketplace webinar, and what that means is we are launching a new Algo automated trading system. Some of you might call them algos, some of you will call them automated strategies. Some people call them bots, whatever you want to call it. We are launching a new product. And the purpose of these launch webinars is to do a deep dive on the efficiency of the systems, the details on what it is and why we trade this way, what's so good about it, right? Why we use this as an automated strategy, and essentially how we can look to use this as a tool to make money with, right? Obviously, we're all traders here, and the goal is to try to extract money out of the markets. And by doing so, by using automated systems, it brings a whole level of efficiency to the table that, say, discretionary traders struggle with, right? And we're going to talk about the man versus machine trade-off here in just a moment. Now, a couple groundkeeping rules whenever we do these presentations, we are recording them. So rest assured, if you have to leave or if you can't stick around for the entire show, as you'd say, we'll send you a recording. That being said, you want to be making sure you stick around to the end of today because we're going to be giving away free licenses of the software. So we're going to be doing a draw at the end of the webinar here. So if you're interested in winning a free license, make sure you're here at the end so we can pick your name. Hopefully Lady Luck's on your side, right? And we are also going to be doing incredible discounts. When we do the launch webinars, we really like to come out swinging with the biggest promotions because we want to give as much value where we can outside of just the product. A lot of times saving a whole lot of money is also important. How many of you guys like to save a ton of money and get the best deals when you buy things, right? I do. I like to save a lot of money. I like to shop efficiently, as my wife would say, right? So yeah, exactly. Yeah, Brian. Freebies. Yeah. Hopefully you win today, Brian. Exactly. All right. So with all that being said, guys, let's kick things off. Okay. So today we're going to be discussing a concept called order flow delta. And the concept of using automated delta confluence is where we look for order flow alignment. You see, order flow alignment is very different than, say, just order flow. And many of you may or may not have a lot of experience with order flow. And I'm going to assume everybody here is completely brand new. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick little primer here in just a moment to show you the power of why we want to use Delta Confluence for this and then using price action to feed the signal for what we call inducement. Now, we're going to talk about how we feed the signals with inducement here in just a moment. And before I go any further, we will need to cover a quick disclaimer just due to the fact that we are dealing with the financial markets. And obviously, there are risks in the business, and I can't guarantee profits. It's against the law for me to do so. So I'd like for everybody to read this and just understand the risks in the business, the disclaimers, all things in between. And if you could please type a Y in the chat box so that you know I'm not here to promise you anything outside of my time, resources, education, software, etc. Right? Past performance never guarantees future results. Okay. Now I see a bunch of questions coming into the chat box. I can't do my job and also do the questions at the same time. So my staff will answer what they can. And if it's something that they can't answer during the presentation, then what I will do is I will spend time at the end of the webinar to make sure we go over Q&A. Okay. Don't be offended if I don't get to it right away. I will get to it. I'm just going to be doing the webinar so we can get out of here in a timely fashion. Okay. Plus, you guys are busy and you guys have stuff to do. So the faster we get through this, the faster we can get on with the rest of our days and enjoy the markets, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the way in which we like to do these presentations. First of all, we're not here to just sell some shiny object, okay? You can go and buy indicators. Heck, there's hundreds of them for free online. You can go to forums, you can go into the communities. Heck, we have on our website dozens of free software, including strategies, mind you. I don't know if you guys know that we have a lot of free strategies. Algo is included on our marketplace website. But the difference is what the strategies are designed to do. And when it comes to algos and it comes to strategies development as well, we're not here to just release products, right? There's a process to this. And what we do is we will build the systems. We will then put it into our team and we'll start running optimizations and tests to verify the strategies actually work very well. Then we'll run it through live replay trading to make sure that the systems actually perform the way in which they do in, let's say, a back test or an optimization. So that way, when we deploy them live, the strategies actually work, right? A lot of traders will do back testing and they'll curve fit their strategies and they'll try to get themselves a perfect trading system. And then what ends up happening is they go to trade it in live markets and it slaps them in the face with a hard 1-2. And then what happens is you blow the account and then you're left with like, what the hell happened, right? So I'm going to show you an actual strategy today that has a very viable edge to it, okay? It has a repeatable pattern that is absolutely something that can be traded with an efficient edge. And what's really cool about algos is that you can run it as an automated trading system in the market. You can still trade it semi-automated. We have some traders that will ultimately use it as a signal generator and then they choose to enter manually. But this is an absolute 100% fully automated trading robot. And as you can see, like this is the last couple days on the market of this system. We've literally ran it up to literally yesterday to make sure that we can show you the performance of this algo. And I'm a big believer of performance is important, right? If we're going to be talking about cookies, then the ingredients of what you put in the batter is important. When we talk about trading, it's about what's in the money, right? And that's really what we're here to talk about is how to make as much money as possible using strategies and ways to which we trade the market. How many of you guys would agree that we're here to make money? And making as much money as possible is the objective of what you're trying to accomplish. Yes or no? How many of you guys would agree with that? Yeah. Unless you actually came here to bake cookies, I can't help you. Right? Exactly. You're here to learn how to make money and use tools that are efficient. So, well, in order to do that, we've got an agenda. Okay. We're going to keep it super simple. I'm going to talk about automation. We're going to talk about manual versus algo trading. I want to share some light on the Algo engine and what the design of it is for and why we use it. We want to talk about the Algo, specifically this system and what it's doing. We're going to also share the optimized templates. Why is that important? Well, instead of you having to do testing and building and optimizing, etc., we literally spend weeks, if not months, literally just optimizing strategies from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. And why? We're looking for the best edge. We're looking to take the signal and then turn it into something extremely profitable. And we're going to talk about that here today because we've developed software that actually does that. We're the only vendor in the industry that has this type of software, and it's our secret sauce when it comes to automated trading. And we're going to talk about that here today. Now, like I said, in order to understand this type of strategy, you need to understand order flow. So let me first pull up a chart. Can everybody see this? Okay. This is an S&P chart. Everybody can see this? Type of yes that you can see this. Yes? Okay. You guys are with me? Okay, great. So if I zoom out, you can see these COs, right? You see these COs? When you have the CO, that stands for confluence. And when you zoom in on a chart, okay, what we're doing is we're not just looking for some imbalances or for one thing to happen. When it comes to order flow confluence, what we're looking to do is we're identifying when the delta comes together in a very, very big way. Now, what is the delta? Well, net delta is when you ultimately look at the relationship between the buyers and the sellers. And in every single candle, there's a hidden grid that goes like this, right? And basically what that is you've got the buyers and the sellers, right? And, if you're going to have the bid on one side and the ask on the other, right? When buyers go to the ask, right, they go up, right? So buyers are willing to go to the asking price. That's an aggressive buyer's market. When sellers are willing to come to the bid price, that's an aggressive seller's market. And so what we need to understand is that the study of the buyers and the sellers give us the relationship to delta. And you're going to see that some candles will have positive delta, some candles will have negative delta, right? Well, net delta is the study of just the number of buyers and the number of sellers. Well, that's only one instance of delta. We have the ability to look at the state of the market, the absorption of the market, the bid-ask percentage. We can look at delta, which we just talked about. I can look at cumulative delta. I can look at delta percentage. And so what we're doing is we're not just looking at delta. What we're doing is we're saying, listen, when you've got all these candles, right? One candle, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and then this one on the eighth candle, okay? The difference between all of these bars and this candle right here is that this candle has confluence. What is confluence? Well, with the removal of absorption, because we don't need absorption, I'm going to show you this here. 1 second. Turn off absorption. We don't need absorption. I'm going to turn it off here. Trying to find it. 1 second here. Bar pattern. Let's see here. It's on the table. Yeah, it's on the table here. 1 second. Right there. Thank you. Appreciate it. So when we look at the absorption, it's not part of delta. So when we're looking at all of this, I'm looking at all of this information right here. And the difference between all of these bars and this is, what do you think I'm seeing? What do you see this, right? What do you see in this candle on this table that is different than all of these other bars? It's all red. Exactly, Brian. It's all red. And the reason it's all red is because all of these aspects over here are aligned. When you have a whole lot of information that is coming together that is independent variables, and they all line up in one single candle, we call this confluence, predominantly delta confluence. And the result of normally when you use delta confluence in the right way is you normally get very strong reactions from these candles. Now, if you're a trader, you're not even capable of processing all this, like calculating delta, looking at the bid-ask percentage, understanding the net relationship between all this, then determining the delta percentage. Like, you're not sitting there with a calculator trying to figure out all this shit on the chart while still being able to trade, right? That's not possible. But what's really important is that if you look at the market zoomed out, in an environment where you're on the right side of the market, in a trending state, you can see that this is a very powerful trade. You get really strong reactions as a scalper in here. And a lot of times you'll see when you get a lot of them bunching together in these situations, you get really big reversals, right? When you start seeing a whole lot of confluence signals coming together or a whole lot of confluences coming together, it normally tells you that you're going to have a huge reversal. Now, why is this important? Well, instead of you doing all of this, we've automated the process. And we've automated the process so that you can ultimately have the strategy do all of the work for you. Okay. And a couple questions here I want to answer here. And Ed's asking, is this a new release? Do you have other order flow algos? Ed, that's a great question. We have many different strategies, including order flow, but this is definitely a new order flow system. It is a completely different set of signals, different concept. it's kind of like fruit, right? You have fruit, you have apples, oranges, blueberries, strawberries. You have different types of fruit. We have probably 100 different ways in which you can trade order flow. This is one of them. And the reason we bring it together in an algo is because Confluence is actually 5 to 6 different aspects of Delta. And instead of having 5 different algos, we bring it all into one and we use Delta Confluence. Does that make sense? Now, to bring it back to topic, um, I trade this. I trade this manually. I've done this manually, and it is a very profitable trading system. These are trades that I specifically took in boot camps. Some of you have watched me trade Confluence. Um, One of the things that I forgot to mention, I want to bring this back because it's relevant, is that I'm not just looking at order flow by itself with Confluence. What I'm looking at is I'm looking at a pattern to happen. And you can just trade Confluence by itself on every single bar, and that'll work from time to time. But what I've done is we've added a precursor in here called the bar pattern filter. And what it is, you're going to see is that there's a 2-bar and a 3-bar pattern. And if I draw the box around this, you're going to see that there's a box that's surrounding price. Whenever we have a box inside of the algo, we're looking to see if this pattern is true, if it's a 2-bar pattern or a 3-bar pattern, and if the confluence happens inside of either a 2-bar or a 3-bar pattern. If I don't get the confluence inside of a 2-bar or a 3-bar pattern, then I won't take the trade. And the reason is because of inducement. I don't want to just take confluence signals on any bar. I want to see the market, let's say, go up and then come down on Confluence. What that means is the buyers here were basically swept and basically consumed by all of the sellers that are stepping into the next bar. And that's important because you could have Confluence just randomly, right? Like you can see this candle here has Confluence, but it's not the same as this candle here with Confluence. And why? Well, the prior bar is leading with inducement. And this is super important to understand the efficiency of why the signals work so well. Now, here's some trades that we've taken on the charts. I think Jim took some of these trades as well. Here's another example of me trading this on the S&P. This is a 20-tick range bar. I took a long here on Confluence. I took a short, and then I took another short. It was 3 back-to-back wins, 1, 2, 3, for a very profitable day in literally less than an hour. And that's the power of order flow, is that you don't actually need to trade for long windows of time. You can actually trade for short windows of time. Use this type of strategy to scalp the market. If you're somebody that likes to take little base hits or scalp the market, this strategy is going to fit right into what you're used to doing. Type a yes if you're an order flow trader, and type 2 yeses or 2 Ys if you like to scalp the market. I just want to know who you are, what you like to do, and where you're at in terms of the audience. Yes? Great. Here's some trades I took. This is a great example of a 2-bar confluence. So what we're doing here is you'll see we drew the box manually, which was quite tiresome. And then ultimately you'll see there's a box here, and you'll see the market came up, and then there's the confluence, there's the short for a nice bing bang 2-bar pattern. And why is this important? Well, it's all about the pattern. We have 2 and then we have 3 bars. Now we tend to lend itself to the 2-bar. It's a little bit more responsive. You get a lot more trade signals and you get a lot more follow through. But the 3-bar can definitely work from time to time as well. But if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, I'm always going to trade the 2-bar confluence pattern over the 3-bar. So write that down. That's a golden nugget. Okay. Now, like I said, here's some of the trades that I've taken. And I want to just talk a little bit about this, because when I'm trading order flow, I tend to go up in time frames. And why? Well, because order flow moves fast. Like as a day trader, if I'm not watching the chart and having to be super, super dialed in, I'm going to miss the trade. How many of you guys have missed a trade from time to time and you're sitting there saying, ah, shit, I missed it. I was waiting for it. I was watching it, and then bam, I miss it. How many of you guys have done it? I miss it. I don't like missing trades. I don't like missing trades. But you want to know why I don't like missing trades? Time. Like I remember I was sitting here all morning this morning. I was waiting for a setup. I was waiting, waiting. And then Bam, somebody calls me. As soon as I answer the phone, I turn my head, I miss the freaking setup. It's the same. It's just you either are going to be trading or you're doing something else, right? And when it comes to this type of strategy, or specifically order flow at that, order flow is moving and it's moving quickly and the bars are moving. And so if you're not 100% laser focused on the charts as a day trader or as a scalper, the chances are you're going to miss a lot of your trades. And that brings me to the conversation of man versus machine. Okay. I'm an experienced trader of over 10 years, right? I don't try to claim that I'm better than anyone. All that I like to do is that I just like to share my own wisdom when I'm able to. I can speak from my own personal experience that I've missed trades, that sometimes that makes it harder to execute. I can definitely be emotional at times. Sometimes when you're back testing without using software, your brain will play tricks on you, right? What'll end up happening is you'll be looking at a setup and you'll start to see things that you think is real. What your brain will start seeing things and wow, look at that trade. Wow, look at that. And then subjectivity comes in. And then all of a sudden, everything goes to hell in a handbasket because as soon as subjectivity comes in, you're done. And so if the market conditions change, you're left holding, at the bus stop with a bunch of tickets and you're not going anywhere, right? And what happens is you get a lot of mistakes. And I know that everybody here tries to be the best they can. We all do. But as a discretionary trader, you're going to make mistakes because all of these things are working against you. And so, what algo trading does, and what I like about algo trading, okay, is it allows me to be a lot faster. I'm 100% more accurate. I don't have to be watching the market every single second, which allows me to execute the trades. If I miss something, I can just watch it take the trades. But I really like to spend a lot of time on the data. Data is everything to me because if I know that I have a 10 range bar or a 20 range bar, and I can see on the 10 range bar, I got 1.7 profit factor. Okay. And on the 20 range bar, I got 2.5 profit factor. And over here, I got a 60% win rate. And over here, I got a 77% win rate. Okay. Here, I made 5 grand. Here, I made 50 grand. Clearly, I'm going to trade the 20 tick range bar. The only way I would know that is through proper data. A lot of traders are trading the wrong time frames, the wrong markets, the wrong setups, and they don't even know it. And what ends up happening is that a lot of times I'll come in, I'll take that strategy, I'll code it, I'll optimize it, and I'll prove to myself, yep, that strategy is absolutely garbage. And I don't even know it because as a manual trader, you don't have the power of the data. And so as an algo trader and as a strategy developer, I spend 90% of my time in the data. Once the data is great, then I spend all my time on the rest of the system because there's no way in hell I'm going to waste my precious time trading strategies that don't make a lot of money or can't provide a lot of data. Now, what does this even mean? Well, if I'm going to trade a strategy, okay, take a look at this chart, okay? Right here, you can see that this strategy gave me what we call a base hit, okay? That is a base hit, a little scalp. Get in the trade, get out for a target, right? Some traders might say, well, that's not a big trade. But I could sit there and say, yeah, that might not be a big trade. But what if that is the best data behind the setup, right? Like you're sitting there saying, oh, I want to trade for 4R multiples. Okay, nothing wrong with a 4-to-1 strategy. But what if I come back and I can show you that the data for a 0.75 or a 1-to-1 is 10 times better than the 4-to-1? You guys are going to want to trade the strategy that makes more money. And that's exactly what we do is we look at the markets, we look at the data, we optimize the system. Here's an example of this strategy. Literally $93,000 in profit, right? That's a lot of money to run an automated system, right? To this day, I have yet to seen any software developer in this industry outdevelop our ability to create more profitable strategies. Why? Well, because we have the Algo engine, and the Algo engine allows us to build strategies and make them more profitable. Now, here's an example of a two-bar pattern confluence signal. It gives us the entry. Take a quick base hit. Okay. All stars aligned. You'll see the Delta Confluence aligned here on this candle. Out of all the candles here, it was all mixed. This one here was the stars that aligned, and then boom, right? Now you're saying, well, that wasn't a huge move. It was enough to hit the target for what we were objectively going for. Does that make sense? Now let's go over here. Take a look at this. Here's a great example of the story I just explained. This is a 150 tick range bar on the NQ. It's a pretty decent sized range bar. You get a 2-bar pattern. It gives you the short. And you can see here that there was the target right there. Small stop, small target. You say, Sean, well, what about this? We missed out on the whole leg. Yeah, we did. But this setup, we were optimizing for 1-to-1s because we wanted to compare 1-to-1 versus 2-to-1 versus 3-to-1 versus 4-to-1, right? And so you can see that this strategy creates really clean setups, really tight stops, and you have the potential to run trailing stops with a runner, and you can squeeze the leg if you choose to. But this will automate your entry, and you can do everything for you, okay? Here's another example of 2 longs and 2 shorts back to back. Bing, bing, boom, boom. 4 wins all back to back in less than 20 minutes, just sitting there letting the algo do its thing. You know, you don't need to do anything. You just press play. You watch the news. You could watch YouTube. You could do whatever you really want. That's the benefit. That's the benefit of an algo. You can set it up. Our job is to show you how to set it up. We've already got the templates pre-optimized, right? Jeff and I spent the entire weekend literally preparing the templates for this presentation so that you guys can have pre-built templates that literally all you need to do when you purchase the software, you log into the download section, you download the pre-built template, you import it, and then Bob's your uncle, you load the pre-built template, and then tomorrow we're going to show you how to turn it on and you can trade it. Literally, you'll be up and running in less than 24 hours. Less than 2 hours if you know how to use Tickblaze, right? You can be up and running instantly, right? So here's some examples of a couple longs and a couple shorts, right? Here's some examples of just a bunch of shorts in a very strong downtrending market, right? Consistently pushing out targets. And you're going to see that it only takes trades in the right locations. And it's really, really clean setups. You'll see here, you could have multiple shorts and multiple longs in a very short period of time because as a scalper, we'll have multiple ups and down moves. And you're going to see this. Like it's great. You can just up, starts here, ends there for the day. What a great day, right? Like the strategy just does its job. It comes in, it looks for confluence. It does everything that you can't, right? Like this is the key about the strategy. It's looking inside the order flow data. It says, oh, there it is. There's the confluence. There's the confluence. There's the confluence. There's the confluence. Here it is again. Here it is again. Here it is again. Oh, all of those bars, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bars are independently different than all of the other candles. And what our algo is doing is it's finding the bars that the order flow delta is aligning, and then we're taking scalps to take base hits out of the market so that you can literally make a shitload of money using it. Does that make sense? Here's another example of a strong down day. You'd be surprised that I can't believe that this even fired off along here in such a down day, but it's because of the EMA filter. But strong trending days, you're going to see big, big profits. But here's a great example of it just zoomed out. Like this is a great example of the algo just zoomed out, and you can see that this system makes money. It produces, it trades. The job of the strategy is to trade. And all you need to do is turn it on, right? Yeah, the losses are very small, Ed. Yes, they're very, very small stops, very, very small stops. Now, let me explain to this, okay? We don't just build a signal, okay? This is the strategy right here. So I explained to you that's the Delta Confluence. Yes, that's the Delta plus the Confluence. But what the bigger question should be is, well, how much should I go in with? Should I go in with 1 contract, 2 contracts, 3 contracts, 20 contracts, right? How big should my stop loss be? How big should my target be? What time of day should I trade the strategy? Do I want to use money management? Do I want to use a moving average filter? Maybe trade only with the trend. All of these are factors of what we call alpha. Every time we build a system, we bring it through the Algo engine. The Algo engine has one job: to make strategies more profitable. It's a pretty good job, right? If my software can do what you cannot do for yourself, what does that even mean? Every time we take a strategy, my team and I can literally put it into the Algo engine, and then we can run a series of tests that will ultimately find the best parameters. How would you like to know that when you use our algos and we give you the templates, you know that it's been used and built by a team that has spent days making sure that that is the most profitable settings? Tell me yes or no. Like, would you not like that, or would you like that? If you could have me and my team give you the best templates so that when you turn the algos on, you have literally the best stops and targets. Yeah, exactly, Dan. It's the Rolls Royce handmade. Well, we do that. That is exactly what we've done. We've done that. And when you use this system, you will get our pre-built templates, and you can literally just import them and then launch them and then turn them on, and they're going to go and do their thing. Just making sure you're on the right time frame and the right bar. That's it. Give me a yes if that makes sense to you, because the signal is not the only important part of a strategy. This is like 20%. The other 80% is in all the variables, right? How big your stops and targets should be, how much money management should be, etc., right? And Tom asking is a great question. How much optimization needs to be? Pretty soon, you won't have to ever optimize ever again, because we're going to be releasing the Alpha Quant Syndicate. And one of the benefits of the Alpha Quant Syndicate is that we've actually contracted a team, and the job of our team is to constantly provide templates to all of our customers. Wouldn't that be amazing that every single week you got pre-optimized templates for all the strategies that you're trading? Wouldn't that be incredible that every single week my staff, that was the job of our team, was to basically build templates for you every week and then send them out? Imagine a world where I invest all of that time and energy into my staff to build a program that basically tailor makes all of the settings and the templates every single week. And then we take these algos and we trade them and we give you the best settings. That's coming. That is coming. So be very, very excited when we release the Alpha Quant Syndicate, because the Alpha Quant Syndicate is going to be the first of its kind. And we're going to be bringing in all of the algo templates, right? And we're going to be doing that. Exactly, Tom. Yeah, that is the value add. Absolutely. It's being done. I don't think a lot of people realize the time and energy it takes. Most people are quick to demand that, but I don't think you've realized the amount of time my staff has spent evenings and weekends doing this, right? And there's a level of requirement. I think everybody needs to know how to do it. I think everybody that's going to drive a car needs to know how to drive, right? That's important. It's just when you're using multiple systems, it does take a lot of time, right? So what we've found is we have a process for that, and we've ultimately built a process for the algo engine that is superior than most, and we're just really efficient at it. So that's why we like to build templates for our customers when we launch the products. Yeah. So let's talk about this. I'm going to play some videos so you can see the system. Okay. So let's do this. Like, watch it, and we're going to just play the strategy so you can see here. So you're going to watch. If I get a 2-bar pattern, it's going to execute the trade. It'll draw a box around this, right? It'll draw a box around this and basically execute the trade at the close of the candle. Okay. And it will basically just do that. It basically gives you the close of the candle. It'll draw a box so you know that it's a pattern. It'll give you the confluence signal. It'll identify all the order flows lining up and it'll take the trade and it'll execute. That's all that the software is designed to do. You'll have a drop down up here that you can turn the software on and off at any given time. Here's another example of the strategy just doing its thing. So you can see here that bars are going up and down. You get a 2-bar pattern. It executes the trade, automatically puts the stop and target in. As soon as you get the stop and target doing its thing, it's going to do its thing. And then bing, bang, boom, off to the races, right? Perfect. You can see there's an example of a quick, clean entry. Very little heat. You'll notice that very little heat, right? You get in the trade, what, like a 1-tick pullback, and then boom, you're off to go. And as a scalper on the S&P and the NASDAQ, 4 ticks is a pretty big trade. As a scalper, 4 to 8 ticks is a great trade. 2 points, 2 handles. That's a lot of money if you can do that with 10 contracts every single time you take a trade. That's incredible, right? Here's another example of a few other trades, right? We're going to go in here to show you some examples. You see the 2-bar pattern comes in. You see the delta flips on that bar, and then basically it comes down. Very little heat. You'll notice that it doesn't give you a lot of heat on the trade. That's the key thing about bar close entries with this type of system, is that you're not going to have a lot of heat on these trades. It's designed to not give you a lot of heat. I'm not a big believer of strategies that give you a lot of heat. Like if you get into a trade, right? I give you a bar here and then a bar here, and I enter right here, a strong signal shouldn't go against you all the way to your stop loss and then come down here. That's a terrible signal. Your signal should basically give you a trade and then hit your target quickly. Because if all of your trades, you find that your signal is giving you a lot of heat, well, that's not really a strong signal. That's a noisy signal, right? So let's go into this, right? Let's keep going. So as the market's going up and down, you see all the candles are clean. See, I don't have any other stuff on the candle. And then boom, software plots an algo box. You don't even need to have anything else on your chart. That's the benefit. If you're somebody that likes to keep your charts really clean, you can just have the algo look. This is exactly what it does. You're going to have a clean chart. You're not going to have anything else bothering you, no indicators, no nothing. And then the software will draw a box around the pattern. It'll plot the signal. It'll confirm the order flow from the bar and the subgraph below, and it'll basically give you the entry. Look, no heat. Imagine that. No heat, right? No heat. That's the key. I like to not take heat when I take trades. How many of you guys like it when a trade goes against you when you're in a trade? How many of you guys like that? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you guys like taking heat or no? No. Brian says no effing way. Tom says no. Ed says no. Yeah, I thought I was the only one. No, I'm not trying to ask stupid questions. I'm being honest, right? Because when we build systems, these are one of the things we try to do is we try to make sure that the signals are so clean that you get really, really good entries, right? And that's important to us. Important to me as well. Right, here's another example, right? You get a 2-bar flip, bing, bang, boom, confluence on the bar. You can see you get all of the trade data lining up. You get a really little couple, 1 tick of heat's not heat. That's just uptick, downtick. That's the movement of the bar. And then bing, bang, boom. That's the NASDAQ on a 75 tick range bar. It's a really, really decent chart. And then boom, clean as day. Look at that. You get in, stop loss, target, nice clean 1-to-1 trades all day long. It's a money printing machine. Really is a money printing machine, right? Like this is the template all the way up to I think this one was to the 18th, right? Like this is the template from this system. The last couple weeks, technically, right? Like if you look, like we're still in this week here, so that's why we don't have it. Like I tend to look at it as a week by week basis, right? I'm still in this week of trading, so I can't really give you an entire week of stats for this week because we're only on Tuesday, right? But take a look, right? Like we had, I think Monday was a holiday, or maybe that was a Friday. I can't remember, but look at like small losing day, break even day, and then the rest was bing, boom, like ramp up. It's just clean, right? It's just clean. And like even the drawdowns are tiny. That's the point. That's the point. Yeah, these were live trades, Jay. Yes, these are performance from the strategy. So, yes. So here's another example of the templates, right? Pushing up, right? Big day to kick it off. Tiny loss, right? Break even day, and then bam, 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 tiny break even day, and bam, bam. You're going to have days where the conditions are just tired or slow or whatever. You're not going to have the same day every single day. But the point is, if you're able to have a strategy that can minimize the downside risk when those days happen, and then when conditions are great, your strategy does this. This is what you need. This is what you want. This is what strategies are built to do. And we've tested on the S&P, we've tested this on the Nasdaq, tested this on gold, right? So I mean, this is just the key markets that everybody's trading in. Yeah, the key markets that everybody's trading, right? So listen, like I said, this is the strategy of this. This is the performance of this strategy. It's that simple. I've showed you examples of the system. This is literally the whole month, right, of the market, right on the Nasdaq. And Gerald says this is the order flow signal pack. No, this is a component of the order flow signal pack, Gerald. Good question. So inside of the OSP, so if you go here, I'll show you this. The order flow signal pack is the discretionary version. But what we do is we go in here and we pull the signals from here and we turn them into algos so that we can ultimately build automated systems with each of the signals. Like there is heat map signals, big money print signals, confluent signals, delta divergent signals, stacked imbalances. You get the picture, right? So this is not the order flow signal pack. What we're doing is we're taking order flow signals from the foundation of our order flow signal pack, and we turned it into the order flow delta algo. And this is one of the signals inside of that software. Yes. So, and this is a 100% fully automated trading robot. Now, that's exciting, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for you guys to trade it. What's also exciting is I get to give one lucky license to a trader who deserves it today. So, who's got the poll? Can somebody put the survey in the chat box for me?
Coming
Who do we
up.
got?
Coming up.
I
One
got
sec.
Jeffrey's got the link. Great. Sharpshooter says the bond market. I used to trade the bond market on a 4-tick bar and a 3-tick range bar. Thing moves like snails, but it can produce some decent trades. The liquidity is huge. Yeah. So yeah, we've already done that. We built it into the offer, Tom. So I'm going to show you that on the offer slide. You're going to see that. Absolutely. In fact, we always do that, right? If you own the order flow signal pack, can we give you another deal? Yes, we have that. I'll show you what we did. So everybody wins. You're thinking just like me, Tom. I value your mindset, brother. So, and obviously, I want to make sure I can save you guys money where I can. So I'll do my best, right? Now, we put the link in the chat box. Can everybody do me a favor and just take a minute and put your name or fill it out, whatever you got to do on that link so that my team can pick a winner? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Pete, you here? I want to know if Pete's here.
I'm here.
Pete, I think we should give away more software. What do you think?
Sounds good.
I think
More,
we should pick
more
more than
people.
one winner. I think we should pick more than one winner. We haven't done that ever on Algos. How many
No.
of you guys would like for us to pick more than one winner? What do you think, Jeff? You guys think we should pick more than one winner? I believe that giving gets. You got to give to get. How many of you guys would like to win? Okay, we're going to pick two this time. We've only do one. We're going to do two. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. Jeff says, wow. Okay. You got to give to get. You got to give back. You got to give back to your people. Okay.
You
Now
got
I
to
can't
click on the link in order to get in there. Only
click on the
70
link. Click
people.
on the
Only
link.
70 people so far.
It's only 70 people, and we got way more traders in here. So make sure you don't miss out, right? Onward, I like it. Make it 3. It's a fib number. So is 0. All right. That's
You
enough.
ready?
Okay, give me 2 names. Give me 2 names.
Okay, the first one is Tom Rasaki.
Tom Rasaki. Where's Tom? Tom Rasaki is a winner. Wow, Tom won. Shit. Tom, you did it. I remember you've been always wondering when you're going to win. How many times have you come to a conference and you said you never win? Today you did it. Fantastic. Tom's a winner, winner, chicken dinner. Give me another one.
Next one is Christian Jacobs.
Christian Jacobs. Christian, you won, brother. Amazing. Christian and Tom, Lady Luck is on your side. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. You got to be here to be square. You guys here? I know Tom is here. Tom is here to claim it. Type a yes that you're here, Tom, or did you kick yourself out and got so excited you left? Okay. Tom wins. Great. What about Christian? Christian here? Is Christian here? Put a yes in the chat box. Make sure you win it. We're here. Great. Christian, congratulations, man. You just won a great system. Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, what I'm going to do is I am going to just make sure you email in to get your license, guys. Pete will give you the details. Make sure that you email in. We'll make sure we take good care of you, okay? So that being said, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the launch process, the pricing of the system. We'll go over all the details, and then we'll go over Q&A. So let's discuss the pricing, guys. Let's go into this. So normally our systems are around 9,500. The reason they're so expensive at value is that it includes the core testing engine. We're not just selling the signal. We have the core algo engine that's built into the systems. This is the software component. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the bonuses. So before we talk about the final price, let me go over this. Inside of the software, it comes with the alpha generating engine. It also comes with the Delta signal algo, so the Orderflow Delta Confluence signal, plus all of the templates that we've built and optimized for you. Now, on the bonuses, you get user documentation. We will install it for you. Tomorrow, we're running a deep dive training, an algo training bootcamp. It's designed to show you how to set up the software, use the software, go over all the features of the resources within the tool. And then ultimately, you can come in and you can communicate with all of the Tickblaze users using the algos. Now, normally, these types of systems are going for anywhere between 5 to 10 grand. We dropped the price. Normally, it's $19.95, but because most of you have the Orderflow signal pack, what we've decided to do is take an additional $200 off and drop it down to $17.95. Why are we doing that? Because we also want to give you a better price. So everybody today, okay, you guys get the discount, $17.95. That's a really big drop from $94.70. Do you understand the difference? You could be spending 10 grand a deal or 17. Way, way better, right? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to also cover the time in which the AMA is tomorrow. So the AMA is 12 noon. Okay, 12 noon. And so basically, yeah, you can come in, you can learn from it, you can go over it. Now, let's remember this, right? Like you could use this system and you could literally pay for the system in one trade. So anybody out there that's trying to use the strategies or trade on their own, I don't know where you're at as a trader, right? But you can basically do the math and you can understand, where you're at in your own trading. These types of systems could literally change your entire career if you understand how to use them, right? Yeah. So what we're going to do tomorrow is we will ultimately go over all of the let me see here, details inside the AMA. You guys can ask questions, go over the settings. You guys can go over everything tomorrow. Great question, Ed's. Ed's asking, oh yeah, profit factor and win rates, George. Yeah, we were seeing win rates depending on the strategy. So We have several different templates, which we'll go over tomorrow. You're going to see anywhere between 40% win rates for 3 to 4 hour multiples, all the way up to 80 to 90% win rates based on one-to-one templates, right, George? So it depends. We have several. So it really just depends on which templates you want to use. We have big R multiple templates. We have small R multiple templates. So it really depends, right? And so yeah, you guys can use different templates. It's going to give you different win rates, right? Not one template's all fitting all, right? It all depends on which one you choose. We'll go over those tomorrow in the presentation. Yeah. How is this different from the heat map? Very big difference. We've built in the price patterns, Ed. So all of this, the difference between the heat map algo is the price patterns. We built in the price pattern differentiation, the pattern recognition between the 2-bar and the 3-bar. It's all part of the inducement. So we wanted to combine price action with the confluence to make it different. Absolutely. Yeah. Great question. Yeah. Great. So what I'm going to do is, if you're new to Tickblaze, remember it's free. You don't got to pay for the software. You can just download it or get it through one of our prop firm partners. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to just run a poll. If everybody here could do me a favor and just fill this out, I need to be able to make sure two things. Number one is if you're buying, please put a yes so we can make sure that we send you all of the links, the templates. We got to make sure that we set you up with all of the resources. Need to make sure that you guys get access to the discount, coupon codes, everything that is built inside of the offer, right? If you don't put yes and you're buying, we can't send you all the right links. So just make sure that if you are buying and you're going to use the templates, that you put a yes so we can send you the right information. This is a scalper's dream. Remember, if you're going to look to day trade, automating these types of processes can make you a lot of money if you understand how to use it correctly, especially if you're trading for prop firms. Okay. Now, we can install it for you. We can do everything for you. You can come to the AMA. We can get you squared away. Whatever you guys need, we've got your back. But remember, we can't help you if you don't let us know if you need it. Also, if you'd like to speak to Jason and our sales team, you can put your phone number in the chat there and he can call you and we can get you set up. Absolutely. Yeah. Great. So make sure you fill out the poll, guys. We can't help you if you don't help yourself. It's important that we get the information from you so that we can definitely do that. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Just let me see here. Gerald, I don't understand your question. Yeah, I don't know the Gerald Masani. If you can write your question, I don't understand your question. Can't answer it if I don't know the whole question. Yeah. Great. Yeah, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow is a typo. Yeah, that's a typo. Yeah, maybe it's a typo. Yeah. Yeah, it says Friday. It's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Hmm. Perfect. Great. So make sure you fill out the poll. We can go over all your questions in the AMA tomorrow. Yeah, and I want to thank everybody for being here. Right? Yes, Ed, that's a great question. Yeah, so if you have the order flow signal pack, that's why we dropped the other 200 off. Yeah, it's normally 1995, but we've given everybody the discount for those that also own the order flow signal pack. Yeah. Yeah, the price inducement annual. Yeah, we've built in the price action components to this. Yeah, the heat map algo has no price action filters built in this. Very different trading when we add the pattern recognition into this. Yeah. Yeah. No problem. Great. All right. Well, listen, everybody, I want to thank everybody for being here and Appreciate your guys' attendance as always. For those of you that need help or would like to speak to our team, just put your name and number in the phone there on the poll. And yeah, I look forward to seeing all you guys trading well, and we'll get in touch with you on the back end. We'll see you guys in the AMA. Take care, traders, and have a fantastic day. Yep, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.